Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. I've just had one of those light bulb moments. I was thinking about what I'm going to film tomorrow, and have I got time, because I've got a lot to do tomorrow. And I thought I'll probably get part 4. I'll at least get it started, even if I don't get it filmed. But it put my mind to thinking about what I'm going to do, not instead of, but to replace the Project Orchids sets, because I didn't want to do the same thing again. I think we've done 3 years worth of that, and it suddenly dawned on me that a nice project, given my viewers and the nature of my viewers, many of which, in fact I would safely say most of which, grow their orchids in the home, and many, an amount, are relatively new to the idea of starting to grow multiple orchids rather than just having 1 or 2 that were a present or something. So given that audience, how about the project is a selection of orchids suitable for growing in the home. Now, okay, I won't be growing them in the home, but that doesn't mean to say I can't talk about the sort of... Oh, I thought I'd gone deaf for a minute. The fan and heater's just gone off. The thought of a set of orchids that would grow in the home quite easily, and thinking about seasonal variations, because believe it or not, we still get seasons in the home. The light levels change, the angle of the sun, yeah, whether you've got the heating on or not. All those sort of things still come into it. And take a set of orchids through those periods like we did with the Project Orchids, but based on them growing in the home, even though I won't be. That doesn't mean to say I can't visualise it, because don't forget, once upon a time all my orchids were in the home and on windowsills and on the end of my dining room table and on a purpose-built shelf on the end of the dining room table to give me 2 levels. So I did grow in the home once, so that, you know. And anyway, say what you think. The idea being that we pick on a set of orchids, only 1 set this time. We're not having 4 parts or anything like that. We'll just have 1 set of orchids, and we'll discuss how they would progress and see them progressing as though they were growing in the home, even though they're not. You won't notice the difference, I don't think, because I can still talk about them as though they were growing in the home, because I have that knowledge, even though I don't necessarily grow them that way now. And you might even want to suggest some orchids you'd like included. I mean, obviously we will have at least one of my Phalaenopsis that are living on the kitchen windowsill at the moment, the ones I really, really do grow in the home. And then we can pick some others. I don't want to get too obscure. I don't want to start including orchids that, because you have to bear in mind a lot of the people that grow in the home don't necessarily have access to orchid shows or specific orchid nurseries. They tend to be limited to sort of, you know, garden centres, flower shops, online, which does give you specialist access, come to think of it. But you see what I'm getting at. I don't want to go too far away from the sort of plants that you could readily find available. So within that arena, we'll pick a set, and as I said, make suggestions if you've got any ideas, and we'll get a set together, and then we'll start by filming them all as they are now at the beginning of the growing season, and we'll take them through in the same way we did with the Project Orchids. And believe it or not, although I'm stood here filming, it's nearly dark outside and it's nearly my tea time. But how about that for an idea? Yay or nay? And if yay, then the sort of orchids perhaps we ought to include. I mean, there's quite a bit in this grow room that would quite happily grow indoors, possibly with a few adjustments to the environment, but without going mad. I don't want to start transferring a grow room environment into somebody's front room. That's not the goal with this project. This would be using normal house environments and seeing how we get on. And I've just forgotten I've got the TV on. I really don't hope any of that sound gets onto this video. They're getting strict, YouTube. I've been clobbered 3 times recently for very old videos that included a piece of music that somebody's put a copyright, well, it's not a strike, they've put a copyright claim against it. Well, what that means is they can monetize that video and claim it, or they can view the analytics against that video, which I don't see what the point of that is. But the easiest thing for me to do to get out of it was to just make it non-public. So I've just made them unlisted, so they can't even see them now, let alone anybody else. And that gets me out of the problem. But yeah, I've had 3 recently. Luckily they're not actual strikes, because it's like in a lot of cases, 3 strikes on YouTube and you're out. So if they were genuine strikes, and I had 3, they would delete my channel and all my videos would be gone. I'd have to start again. And we don't want that, do we? So, yeah, some thoughts on the idea. A little light bulb moment.